Hi, I'm Marc from Gloucester Civic Trust, and this is Andy Frape.
Hello.
And this is Jon Eeles.
Hello.
So, Andy, you're into discovering finds. How did you get into?
It's a long story, I'll try and cut it short. When I was about 10 years of age, like your dad, I'm Gloucester born and bred like John. Long Levens all my life. Where I lived in Long Levens, we had an allotment at the back of the garden. And some topsoil came to that allotment from the Longford Inn. You might know the Longford Inn, It's an old coaching inn from like the 17th, 18th century. In that topsoil, I was finding bits of clay pipe.
Oh, wow.
I was finding coins, snuff boxes, and it just got me into the collecting habit.
Yeah.
And I had a treasure box as a kid, like a lot of kids did at the time. Yeah. And it started from there.
So, what sort of age is that clay pipe then?
Oh, this one, I brought that one specifically because it's kind of 17th century. It's got to be 1650 to 1680, that kind of date. Probably made in Shropshire, I can tell that by just the typology.
So, how do you go about looking? Do you think and researching places to look, or is it any?
Well, the club I belong to a club now in Tainton, which I'd like to kind of mention. Tainton Tiverton Metal Setting Club. And of course, as a byproduct of looking on ploughed soil, you can find things like clay pipes, you can find things like flint. So I've got a nice collection of 5,000-year-old flints as well. Oh, wow. Not just the clay pipes. And of course, what I'm really there to find is metal objects.
Yes. Not
primarily from the siege, but any age, medieval, Roman, Iron Age.
So what kind of things have you discovered so far?
So Roman silver coins, Roman bronze coins, an Iron Age coin from the Dubonnet tribe of Gloucestershire, which is really special.
And some of those are in the Museum of Gloucester?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to be searching some land in Tainton, and I found what's called a groat, a 4p piece, dating to about 1350. And then I found another, and I called some friends over, and then the guy that was walking up to me picked up a gold one from the surface.
Oh, wow.
And so we knew we had a kind of a purse bill or a hoard. There was 13 in the end, and they're all in Gloucester Museum. We donated them to Gloucester Museum. It was declared treasure. We're in the Citizen, and there's a picture of us handing them over.
That's fantastic.
To the museum.
That's amazing. It's amazing that there's so much history just below the surface or all around this area. And people,
as John says,
people don't realise it.
It's also where you look, you just got to open your eyes, and there's history everywhere. But what I do is literally more on the floor and in soil, in rivers and brooks. Where I lived in Long Levens, there was a brook.
So you brought some other things with us today, the musket balls. So
Yeah.
is that a very common thing to find?
They are specific. So where that was found in Hynham, part of the battle site, as John would have said, there were literally tens, hundreds of those around. Some perfectly round, probably not fired. Others you'll see from impacted.
So John, you're an expert on the siege of Gloucester. So Hynham, why were there so many of these found in Hynham?
Before the siege, before there was even a hint of the siege, and the Royalist Welsh, you've got to think where Gloucester is. We've got the Welsh, which are very, very Royalist, and we've also got the Forest of Dean off to the west. So they came and camped over the other side of the River Severn around Hynham. They were causing trouble for Gloucester. So Colonel Edward Massey and William Waller, another Royalist commander, they rendezvoused. A long story, but they rendezvoused at Hynham, and they drove the Royalist Welsh out. And there was quite a serious engagement. There were quite a few skeletons had been found there.
Oh, right.
Over the. I just found a recent document actually where they dug up nearly 80 bodies at Barber Bridge. 80 skeletons at Barber Bridge in 1861. And so there was a major engagement there, and it pushed the Welsh away. And these, we can pretty certainly say they date to the 24th of March, about midday.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not.
It's amazing how precise we can get.
Yeah.
So, most proud of the coins you found?
One specific one, I'll mention one coin. Near where I live now in Dimmock, it was a coin minted in Gloucester. Now, not everybody knew Gloucester had a mint, but Gloucester was a very important city back in the day.
I didn't even know it had a mint.
Gloucester struck coin, even Winchcombe did too, a smaller, but that was big in its day. Gloucester's mint ran from something like 870 from Alfred the Great through to Henry III, 1270s. Oh, wow. Only 400 years, so a lot of other mints went a lot longer than that. I don't know why it closed down, but I've got a coin struck in Gloucester in 1065.
Wow.
In what you call mint condition. it was thought by the guy, Kurt Adams, the Finance Liaison Officer, that it was probably part of a hoard, but I've not found any more, unfortunately. It's just an Edward the Confessor minted coin.
You never know, one day you might find it.
One day I live in hope and ask the farmer every time if I can go back.
Definitely, right? You never know what happened then. So what's this piece then?
This also was found in Hynham by Dan, who found one of the cannonballs there. He picked it up because he's interested in fossils, and there's definitely fossilised stuff on there, shells and such like from millions of years old. But however, if you turn it over, there are some striations on here, and because it's a tactile object, one of the theories, and it's only a theory, that this could have been used for sharpening some of the swords in the Battle of Hynham on the date that John said in 1643. Possible. Not proven, but possible, and I'd like to think it was true.
I just love the fact that, just digging below the surface, so much history can be found, and that every item has a story that goes along with it.
Story.
Not only the item itself, of how it's made, but who discovered it and who dropped it there.
Well, who knew that Gloucester had a clay pipe industry? Not
No.
many people would know that. Bristol was the bigger producer, and also place in Brosby, Shropshire, but Gloucester also made them from about 1690, 1700 onwards.
And that's very much one of the things we're very keen for the Siege of Gloucester display that will be at the Frape, is that not only will we tell the story of the siege and also of the inhabitants of the siege, I'm very keen, and we're all very keen, to have objects like this, because every object tells a story. And, we're talking about the cannonball. When you think about £8 or £6, I find it hard myself to equate to that, but then to actually be able to lift it up, it just really brings it to life.
Absolutely. John tells a great story.
And that's one of the things I'm very keen on. So that's something we're really looking forward to. And John, you got a wonderful talk. I've been on one of your walks.
Yeah,
and
I do.
You've got your talk coming soon. So
Yeah, I've got a talk coming up here in Folk of Gloucester, 5th of September.
So see it then. It'll be a limited number on Zoom, but then it'll be recorded for the History Festival as well, which is the first time we've done anything for the History Festival, but we can't wait to have your talk.
Looking forward to it.
See what comes up with the Siege of Gloucester display coming to the folk soon.